Welcome back to the 2021 PGA Championship here at the Ocean Course. We are joined by Padraig Harrington, who posted 369 today to cap his championship. He finishes at 2 under par at this very moment. He is T5. Padraig, you closed strong pretty well today. I imagine you have to be, with the totality of the week, you have to be pretty pleased with your performance and what will likely be a top 10 for the first time in a while.
Yeah, I'm very happy that I felt like I competed on a level with everybody else this week. Physically, tee to green, I played very well during the week. There was nothing that at 49 years of age, you don't want to go out there and feel like you're giving anything up. And I certainly was good, particularly today. I'd say that was probably my most enjoyable round of golf I've had in the golf course in a long time. It's amazing when you play with a friend. It definitely helped both of us relax and just play golf. And both of us played really well. We both could have been quite a few shots better. And I will rue a little bit later on. I never know what's going to win this tournament, but I will sit down afterwards and go, there's no doubt I left 3 or 4 shots out there. I was a little bit jittery on the greens and just didn't run my putts at the hole like I would like to. But yeah, it was nice, and it was nice to just do an interview there where, it's been a long time since I've been interviewed and been asked about my golf rather than the Ryder Cup. So for today, at least, I'm back to being a golfer.
Well, that's great to hear. Let's zoom out for your first question, see if we can stay in theme and go to Scott. Scott Mishaw, go ahead, sir.
Hi, Padraig, you mentioned the other day about leaving strokes out there, and you and Shane said you might have left a few today. Do you walk away satisfied or disappointed?
I can't be disappointed. Yes, I left shots out there, and I will look back at particularly Friday and today as potential for lots of shots. But this isn't my tournament. I don't feel like it was my tournament. Sometimes you're playing a tournament and you feel like you let one slip away. No matter what happens today, even if the lead finishes 7, yes, I could have got to 7, but it would have been everything would have to happen. So I don't have any regrets about this. I'm more about walking away from this thinking, my physical golf game is good enough. Mentally, I've improved over the last couple of weeks, and while I didn't feel comfortable as comfortable as I would have liked on the greens, I have been very comfortable over the last couple of months. So, matching the two of those up could make me very competitive going forward. It would be amiss of me, and I know this is off track. I can't tell you how good a setup this was this week. This was probably I have to say, probably the best major setup I've ever seen. It may have been equaled in the past, but couldn't have been better. I know the golf course is fantastic, but they really set the course up that there was opportunities to make bogeys and opportunities to make birdies. It really was that case that, so I'd love to play this style of golf every week, and I would be a bit more competitive than playing a regular tour event. It's hard. It's a lot easier at these majors.
It's nice of you to say. Let's go 5 and then 6 right here, please.
Padraig, there would be a train of thought that if you can play so well here, you could play so well at Whistling Straits. What would you think about that?
I'm well past that time. I'm too long in the tooth now at this stage for the sweating through 5 rounds of golf and all that goes with it. I'm very much dedicated to being the captain. I'm letting other people have their time, and I had mine. And you can't do both. There's nobody's ever going to be a Ryder Cup captain and a player at the same time. It's a full-time job being the Ryder Cup captain. There's no doubt about it, and even in my situation, trying to play some golf, I have to manage it very well because it has become a full-time job, and when you get to the tournament, even more so. There's a lot going on.
If you take that aside, I was only being half serious, but what you have shown and emphasised again is there's a large element of horses for courses, and again, Whistling Straits is seen as quite similar to here.
Yes.
Or are you not sure about that?
There's no doubt that put me out in a windy golf course and I'm going to be competitive with pretty much everybody. Yes, and comparing this to Whistling Straits, Yeah, it's going to be different grass, but it's very, very similar. Very similar style of play. You know, you got to manage the wind. It's a big course in places, cross winds down. You know, so it is similar style. But saying that, you know, a good player is a good player. Just because somebody's come here this week and not had their best week doesn't mean that they're not going to be a good player the week at Whistling Straits. So, you know, you have to get out of prejudging people on individual rounds or even their style of play. And you know, if they're a good player, we'll have 12 of them on my Ryder Cup team, and between them, all they have to figure out to do is get 14.5 points.
Eamon on 6.
Padraig, the first time we saw a guy in his 50s take the lead into the final round of a major, you were the one who chased him down. When you're the younger chaser in that scenario, do you start, or just part of you start with the attitude that the leader might be a little more fragile than if it was one of your peers?
No, I started very much against Greg in 2008, scared of my life of the story that was being told in the media. Like, the whole world was telling this story. Isn't it great to see Greg here? Isn't it? Was he on honeymoon at the time? And it was the whole, you know, focus on this and, well, for, you know, all that's happened. How many times has somebody done something crazy to beat Greg Norman? Wouldn't it be great for him to win? And I just did not want to buy into that sympathy. That, you know, and to be honest to Greg, on the day he played fantastic golf. You know, in terms of how he hit the golf ball and struck the golf ball, it could have easily been his day. So, you know, again, physicality didn't cost him. I think older players struggle until they get under pressure, and you know, it will help Phil today that the tension is there. You know, it helps him focus, and it helps him compete when he knows that the other guys are going to be feeling it too. So I wouldn't buy. The media buys into a great story, but if you're the younger fella chasing, you have to be very resolute that, look, this guy isn't going to give you anything, and he's not going to go easy either. And just don't be that. It's like going into a playoff. You can't be just happy to be there.
She put more pressure on the older guy because they're the ones who are the subject of that narrative.
Yeah, but isn't there a boiling point, like a tipping point of pressure that, you know, you can only, you know, you only get to so much, and after that it's kind of just the same. So I think anybody in the last group going out in a major is going to feel it, or the last couple of groups. Anybody who really thinks they can win on a Sunday is going to, you know, be feeling that pressure and the nerves. And I'd say Phil is full to capacity, but that's where he likes to live.
Let's zoom out to Brian Keogh. Brian, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, Padraig, well played this week. I'm just wondering, does this week give you any more belief or confidence that you could maybe win a 4th major championship on top of what you already had? And are you putting the entry forms for the Champions Tour maybe in the bottom drawer for a while and holding off on that?
Yeah, look, I walk away from this week. There's nothing stopping me in my golf swing. I swing the club well enough. I hit the golf ball well enough. I hit it far enough to compete. Give me the right conditions, as probably I needed the right conditions even back in my own heyday, and I will be competitive, no doubt about it. I you know, we all dream it can happen, and we push for that, and it keeps me getting up in the morning, keeps me practicing. So this does add a bit of confidence. That, yeah, I'm not too far away, and that, especially as, like when I won my majors, a lot of my majors win came after me seeing some good stuff and being able to build on that, and I do see some good stuff in this week. I was much better focus-wise, much better over the last couple of weeks. I changed my routine, and I've got a lot better since then, and you know, going forward, I just need to find that one thing on the putting or whatever, and yeah, I could be as physically good a player as I ever was, but there's a lot more competition these days.
With your Ryder Cup hat on Shane, can you say just what you saw in Shane this week, and do you think it'll help him push on and make your team?
Look, Shane is as we know, is a big-time player and likes playing big golf courses on the big occasion. Why am I keep saying big about Shane? Yes, he seems to, you know, and he likes the wind. There's a quality about him. He wouldn't stand in a tee box and fear anybody. So Shane, just like everybody else who's not in the team, either if they don't necessarily, nobody has to make it into the team. As I said, there's 9 guys there at the moment, but if you want to get a pick, you're going to have to impress, because there's plenty of guys. I seem to have an abundance of players in that running for those 3 picks. There's probably you got to think 6, 7 players who could be in the running, and you just got to impress. So he did a good job today. He certainly did himself no harm, and we'll see how the next couple of months go.
We're going to have to wrap it up with Michael here. Last question.
Padraig, thanks so much. Just as Shane's friend, not as a potential captain, he's a legend for the rest of his life if he never hits another golf ball. But as someone who is in a similar position, what would you tell him as a friend? Like, even though you've accomplished so much and you don't have to do anything else, there's still more to be done.
I don't know what your question is.
Okay, I didn't word it well.
What's he need to do to get to the next level?
Or to keep it going, yeah.
Yeah, he's already at the level. He just needs to chill out. It's the same as all of us. We need to somehow get golf in that right place. That if, like, all of us golfers, if you put us out on this golf course without this tournament, or let's say if you put me out on this golf course in the same conditions, playing off the same tees, everything the same, but I was playing against a much lesser field, I'd have shot a better score than 2 under par. So it's not a physical thing. None of at this level, it's never physical. It's mental, and it's amazing. There's a fine line between pushing and actually not pushing too hard. And I know Shane could give that impression, but he pushes like the rest of us. He puts himself under too much pressure at times and pushes too hard, and can get down on himself. And he's just like all golfers, we can be too hard on ourselves. And if we'd be much better players if we were able to talk about our golf rather than have to play it.
Thank you very much.
Padraig, thanks for all your visits all week. Have a great summer, and we'll see you in September.
Thank you.